Welcome to our podcast, Proper Cuppa Tea, the show where you can put your feet up and have a good old natter. Thank you for tuning in today. We're going to unwind, relax, and have a nice cup of tea. Hello and good morning. And today we have
Ice Bath Harry.
Ice Bath Harry.
Hello.
Is that how people find you on Instagram?
Apparently so, yeah.
Ice Bath Harry. Check him out. So I'm Becki, and I'm obviously part of the Spark family. And we've never met, have we, Harry?
We haven't, no.
You know nothing about me, and I know nothing
I
about
literally
you.
know nothing about you, nothing about Spark. I feel like I should have done some research before I came down, really.
We like this. I hope you've all got a cup of tea. I see you've got a nice bottle of water.
I have.
My words sometimes don't get out first thing in the morning. I'm just dreaming of a cup of tea right now because I've come in here and I've left my cup of tea on the side. But don't worry, as long as everyone's sat down and they're just drinking. So anyway, why should they listen to us today, Harry?
Why should they listen to us? I guess
we like talking rubbish.
We do. We talk a little bit of nonsense, a little bit of rubbish, and
a bit of honesty.
Absolutely, honesty.
Have you got all your ducks in a row?
I have. Literally ducks as well, because in my ice, I take an ice bath, and in my bath, I have my milestone ducks.
I love that.
Yeah, and they are all in a row as well. I like to, when I take a photograph or when I do a little video, I will put them in order. So I've got a 7-day duck when I got 7 days clean.
Wow,
I've got a 30-day duck. Shall I give you the names of them as well?
Yes.
So we got Severus Soph, a girl called Soph. She named the duck. That was my 7-day duck when I got 7 days clean. And the idea behind that was severing myself away from my old life. So Severus Soph. Then we've got Sturdy, the 30-day birdie. And then we've got Trixie, which was my day 60 duck. And then we've got Tiny Tim, who's my 90-day duck. I'm not sure why we went with Tiny Tim, but that was the most liked comment. Chandler is my day 100 duck. Wow. And then most recently, just 2 days ago, we got a new duck added to the family. And we actually haven't named it yet, but I will be in my next ice bath naming it, because I have seen the most liked comment. And that's my 6 months duck. So I turned 6 months sober 2 days ago. Wow. And we've got a new duck, and it's a kangaroo sort of style duck with a baby in its pouch. And the idea is it's supposed to be me and my son, who I haven't seen for 5 years, who I'm about to reunite with this Saturday, which is very exciting.
Yes.
Who, believe it or not, I had a FaceTime with yesterday, which is all kind of amazing stuff. But yeah, someone in the comments has said you should just call it Travis. That's my boy's name. So we're probably going to go with Travis for the kangaroo duck.
I love that.
So my ducks are, in answer to your question, my ducks are in a row.
I love that.
Yes.
And sometimes when you go through something, and it could be anything, so for me, let's face it, we all have struggles. Some
Absolutely.
of us are more open than others. But I like the fact that you're making a visual round of applause to yourself in a simple way. And that is, do you know what? I'm doing okay today. And
I am.
I'm looking at them ducks when I'm struggling to go, do you know what? I can do another day. And sometimes it's as simple as that. Our motto as a charity is, well, what can I do today? Some days you can't do what you could do yesterday, and some days you can do more. And it's about just being honest with yourself. What can I do? And so when the charity started, it was a very lonely road.
Yeah.
And as you know, sometimes in the sober world, it can be very lonely. You have to find new friendship groups.
Listen, I could be in a room full of people and still feel lonely.
Yeah, and that's true. And I get that. And we were talking actually, we met and we actually thought, how did we meet? It was actually my husband, I think, DM'd you on Instagram.
He did.
He was very well, he looked at your journey and he thought, wow, this is a guy we need on a podcast, because the community need to see a real story with a real human with struggles that are saying, do you know what? I'm trying.
I am.
I'm okay today.
Yeah.
I may not be tomorrow, so I don't look at tomorrow. I just look at today.
And that's exactly how I live my life, one day at a time. And I've done so for the last 184 days, one day at a time, just taking a minute at a time sometimes. And it's actually been a relatively smooth ride this time. I've been trying to get clean for many years. I found the Fellowship of Narcotics Anonymous around about 8 years ago. and I was 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Wasn't really ready to surrender. Wanted to do some more research in the big scary world of narcotics, and it's not fun. It wasn't fun, and I had to learn the hard way. And I think all the time I was trying to get clean, I wasn't ready to surrender. And every time I tried to do it, it just felt so difficult. But this time, it's strange because there have been days, don't get me wrong, in the last 184 where I have really struggled. It's really been on me, and I've thought, I can't do this. I just want to, I just want to go to the pub, or I just want to, act out in a way to suppress the feelings that I feel. But actually, it's been quite a smooth ride, and I think the difference is this time I've surrendered. I actually don't want to use today.
It's a choice that you've really made deep in your...
It is, and it is a bit scary, the thought of never doing it again, because drugs and alcohol were such a massive part of my life. Someone, says you can't do it for the rest of your life. What do you mean I can't do it for the rest of my life? I used, for so many years, it was such a massive part of my life. The thought of never doing it again terrifies me, but actually, just for today, just try not to have a beer today. Just try not to go out, try not to pick up, try not to use today. Then it's a little bit easier to manage that way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like for me, it would be eating.
Okay.
I'd be like, just one donut. And people will say, people with food addictions and stuff like that, it's real.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it's not necessarily talked about,
No.
it can be. And it'd be like, I made today without eating a donut. And it's like, for you, everything that you do is sociable. For somebody that has a food addiction, it would be, oh gosh, I've got to go out tonight and there's going to be a buffet or there's going to be another food. And it's like,
it's interesting you say that. So for me, I used to think I had a drug problem. I used to think I had an addiction to alcohol. I used to think I had a gambling addiction. I have a addiction. I am an addict. Yeah. The disease is from within me. Yeah. So food, gym, drugs, alcohol, gambling, all those unhealthy things, they're just substances. Yeah. I'm the one with the disease of addiction, right? So it comes from within. So they're just substances. That I didn't actually have a drug problem. I have a me problem. So once I fix what's going on for me, the other stuff is just kind of external.
Because do you find that you can get obsessive?
Absolutely. About anything. Listen, you can open a pack of custard creams with a cup of tea now and I'll eat the whole lot.
Yeah.
I'll make sure I get to the packet first. Yeah. I'm first in, last out. Full on, and it's difficult to try to manage that because a lot of people will get clean, and I unfortunately I see it a lot in fellowships and just in day-to-day life. People will get clean, they're sober, and they're 3-4 years clean now, but they're acting out in all other areas. They're not actually serene. They're clean, but they're what we call a dry drunk. So they're not actually taking narcotics, they're not actually drinking, but what they are doing is acting out in unhealthy behaviours around sexual behaviours. They're playing the lottery and they're buying lots of tickets and stuff, and they're it's only the lottery, it's only once a week.
They've just re-diverted it.
They've cross addicted. It's what we call cross addiction. So I could get addicted to anything, and I do often find myself, I play tennis, I play squash, I often find myself playing squash for an hour and a half, and the other lads I'm playing with are like, right, come on then, let's go get a coffee, and I'm like, no, one more game. And they're like, all right mate, calm down. I'm like, one more. Yeah. Like I'm very kind of, I don't do moderation, and I'm trying to manage that. I'm trying to learn how to moderate what I do, my intake of anything. But as long as it's not, unhealthy, that's okay. And food, again, food is a massive one. You see a lot of people when they first get clean, when they first enter sobriety, the appetite goes up, obviously, because when you're doing drugs and you're drinking, you're not hungry. So when you get clean, you put the drugs and the drink down, you pick food up. And I've seen people that have, put 3, 4, 5, 6 stone on. One guy, I won't mention who is, I won't mention his name, but he was really slim and really unhealthy, and within 2 years he was 14 stone heavier than what he was when he walked in the door. Wow. And I sort of think, is he, was he actually happy? Because it looked to me like he'd cross addicted. It looked to me like he put the drugs down but picked the food up, and it wasn't healthy. And it's really, so the story behind why Spark, because you're obviously in Spark Community Space podcast, I am,
was due to the fact that I wasn't seen anymore because of my brain surgery.
Okay.
And so it was like I stayed at home, and I didn't go out of the home very often because when you have seizures, because that's what it's left me with, you can have one at any time.
Okay.
And sometimes my disability could be I'm not talking well today. But I decided that I needed to be seen for other people to realise they're okay.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm grateful for you, Harry. You're putting yourself out there not too much that it's dangerous, because you can be too oversharing that you forget still who you are.
Yeah.
And I'm learning that I don't need to always say my story anymore, because Spark is now established.
Okay.
It's a charity that's helping people spark back into life, and it could be from addiction, it could be from bereavement, and it could be from just being lonely, sat at home. And we all have, everybody in the world will have a story behind their eyes, but some people have no one to share it with. And loneliness can cause addictions.
You can.
And it can be that place of I'm not seen, I'm not heard. And that was the idea of the podcast, is just to put people in front of the community. So if somebody is still sat at home thinking they don't belong anywhere, they're not worth anything, they have no value, I want them to hear this podcast.
Get up, get out.
Exactly. And concentrate on, what can I do today?
Absolutely.
What
One
can I
small
do?
change. One, and I don't know if you know, do you know Kat Thorne, the morning?
Oh, I love Kat Thorne. She does
I
her
do
podcast
too.
from here.
Does she?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
No
Kat
way.
Thorne.
I'm
Woohoo!
sat in the
Go-getter.
studio
You
where
are.
Kat. I love that.
You actually sat where she normally films
Really?
her podcast. You are in her
Hello,
home.
Kat, if you're watching.
Oh, she will be.
She will, if you're listening, rather.
Yes.
So yeah, what basically what I do is I take a nice bath every day, and I share my experience, strength, and hope, and just be honest and vulnerable about what's going on for me. Like you said, without oversharing too much. I do sometimes overshare, but luckily I'm quite good at editing, so I edit the sort of naughty bits out that don't make the final cut. But yeah, we also now do what's called the 5 Degree Creator Challenge, where we get guests on, to come over to my place to take a 5-minute plunge at 5 degrees. What are you like with cold water?
I don't know, but I think my husband will volunteer for
Hang
this
on,
one.
whoa. You're not getting out of it that easy.
Matt made the connection.
He did. So
Because Kat was with you.
She was. So Kat has been on the 5 Degree Creator Challenge, and she smashed it. And we've kind of become friends from it. And yeah, we were down at Balance Wellness. Little shout out to Balance Wellness.
Yes.
Brilliant place. Sean down at Balance in Waterlooville. That place is incredible. It's contrast therapy, which I knew nothing about. I've been ice bathing every day for 6 months, but only recently found out what contrast therapy is, which is where you go from hot to cold. So you go from a sauna into an ice bath. Yeah, 2 minutes in the cold, 10 minutes in the sauna. And you come out and you find what's called homeostasis. And when you leave, you feel a complete balance. You're not too hot, you're not too cold, you feel
I hope
level.
Matt's up for this. That's Mr. Spark, by the way.
Okay. So yeah, we get people on. So yeah, Kat Thorne, going back to what I just said there, we would take, one small positive habit change. Whenever those words come out of my mouth, I think of the morning game changer. Kat Thorne, that's what she does. And funny enough, going back to Kat, hi Kat again. Yeah, when she came over, because I knew nothing about her, and we kind of got to know each other on the channel when she came over that day, and we filmed her episode. And when she was telling me about the morning game changer and what she likes to try to implement, and what she talks about when she does all these talks when she goes around the country, or around the world rather, it was interesting, because I thought, what you're talking about, I've actually implemented in my life without realising, like I didn't know who you were or what you did, but actually, my belly went. But actually, I've implemented one small change, which is to take an ice bath every day, hold myself accountable. And she was like, what you're doing is literally what I tell people to do. But it's interesting that I did it off my own back. Yeah. Which is quite cool. So I'm proud of myself for that, because I'm just trying something different. That's all I wanted to do. I was just sick and tired of being sick and tired. I wanted something to change. I had a child. I've got a son out there, and he's 6 now. I haven't seen him for 5 years. And just enough was enough. And I was just ready to surrender. I'd done my research. I didn't want to do it anymore. I just, addiction took 9 years of my life. I'm not going to let it take another day.
And that's really good. And the good thing, and I love Kat. So on a Friday, this is what people wouldn't know. Part of Bianca from Mindset Maintenance.
Bianca has also been a guest on the show.
Okay, girls, I'm going to follow in
you gotta get over.
I'm going to have to do this, aren't I? So Bianca, many months ago, in fact, over a year ago now, kept saying to me, come on, Beck, come and be part of the sea dip.
Yes, love
on
it.
a Friday.
Love
I'll
it.
be like, oh, Bianca. And I don't like doing anything different. I don't like being with anybody on my own.
Okay.
But I turned up at the beach.
You did it.
6 o'clock in the morning, some unearthly hour. And yes, I went with Bianca, who did a handstand before we went in the sit. And I'm like, Bianca, she is so funny. And then that's how I met Kat.
Love that.
And then now Kat picks me up and takes me for the
sea swim. Love that. Yeah, Kat's into the cold water sort of cold
I make
water therapy.
it sometimes, and Kat will always say to me, "So, am I seeing you Friday, Becki?" And I'll be like, and she won't let me get out of it. She's really good for that. So yeah.
But not only that, like if you didn't want to do it, you wouldn't do it. So the fact that yes, she's giving you encouragement, and yes, she's kind of pushing you towards doing it because she knows you're going to enjoy it and she knows it's beneficial. Ultimately, you make the decision.
Yes.
So as much as you say she makes me do it, no, you do.
No,
you should be proud of the fact that you actually say I'm going to do it.
Yeah,
and you do.
On a Thursday when Spark finishes, I am mentally and physically exhausted. I give everything I've got when Spark's live. So on a Friday, I'm like, oh, really? I'm getting up at this time in the morning, but that's for me.
Yeah,
it's like my time, and I just get up and I go with Kat, and then we sea dip, and then I get home and I have a hot shower, and I just feel like for the rest of the day, it's like I did something positive.
Definitely,
and I love it. So
and
yeah,
you know what?
amazing.
You feel better. You know, as much as you don't want to get up and.
So this is my pledge to you, Harry.
What's that?
Me and Mr. Spark will make our way
over. And we'll film a 5-degree creator challenge with Spark.
Film me in a swimsuit.
Yeah. Well, no, we yeah.
Yeah, can I wear leggings?
You can wear whatever you like.
Okay, I'm a bit like...
Except for a wetsuit. You're not wearing a wetsuit because that defeats the object. That defeats the purpose of it.
No, I promise you.
You'd make a great guest because you've got a story to tell. What the idea behind it is
I have to put my head under because I'm not really meant to do
a
that.
plunge, but if for medical reasons it's not safe and it's not advised, then that's absolutely fine.
I can get my shoulders under, but I can't put my head under.
That's absolutely fine. Yeah. That's absolutely fine. We'll get it arranged.
I get it almost bespoke for me, so it's always been sparkified.
We'll see we'll see how you feel on the day, but just going back to that quick, the reason I do that the creator challenge is for a few reasons really. First of all, it's to raise awareness around mental health. It's for people to see their favorite content creators in an uncomfortable position. We've got some great guests lined up.
I don't know if I'm a content creator, but
not just content creators. We've started to. When I first set it up, I thought this is great because I was trying to grow the channel and I was trying to get out to more people, and we've grown pretty rapidly. We've got quite a few followers on TikTok now. TikTok's my main platform. We TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook.
We should do a TikTok before you leave today, then.
Should we? What, like a little dance or something?
Yeah, we'll do a little. We'll do a TikTok because we love doing TikToks.
Okay, let's do it. Let's get it.
So, what's your TikTok channel
that's
called?
my slogan, by the way. Let's get it. Ice Bath Harry. I'm Ice Bath Harry everywhere. Just type in Ice Bath Harry. And go back to getting the guests on. So when I first sort of decided to do that, it was actually a follower of mine. I'm going to give him a shout out, Lucario. He suggested that I reach out to other content creators and collaborate. I thought, well, this could be good. And then at first I was kind of like, this would be great. You know, we'll get people on with 10 million followers or 1 million followers and then I'll get loads of their followers. And it was all a bit sort of, I was doing it for the wrong reasons. Yeah. And I have had a couple of guests on that don't really, can't relate to mental health and they know nothing about addiction. And I thought maybe I need to sort of handpick a little bit better the people that I get on. So now it's not just content creators, it's not just people with 1 million followers or 10 million followers. It's people that are relevant, people that have got a story. You know, the last episode was a lady called Tati. She's 1,200 and something days clean now, and she's got a large following. She's got over 1 million followers, 1.4 to be precise, on TikTok. You know, she's a content creator. That's what she does for work, and she's brilliant at what she does. And it was an amazing episode. It was really inspiring, and she talked about sobriety. We had a lot in common. Rather than me just getting someone on that you know, a recognisable face, now I get people on that have got stories. Yeah. And I think you guys would have, and you obviously have got a great story. Because you wouldn't be doing what you're doing otherwise, would you?
Oh, it's a great place, isn't it? Because you've never been here before.
I've never been. I know nothing about it. I know nothing about this. I've been shielded. I've been living in a cave.
Well, you need to live in a cave to get yourself whole. I get that because even with Spark, community space, people say, you know, why Spark and all of that lot. Well, the why is why. And that is because I don't want anybody else feeling like I felt when you're on your own. You might have a fabulous house. You may have a fabulous group of friends, but they all work. Guess what? When you're home alone, there is nothing worse than wearing loneliness like a coat. And I had a good support system. I didn't want anybody else to feel like I felt. And so I created a space where anybody, any ability, any disability, any sickness, diagnosis, bereavement, anything that you're struggling with that makes you want to be, because sometimes people want to be on their own. There's a difference. When you're lonely, it's not a choice.
No.
It's because of you are at home, and it might be through fear, anxiety, depression. And I wanted to create a space where, do you know what? The first thing you get is, hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Come and have a cup of tea with me. And it's pay what you can afford, because when I first had the brain surgery, I didn't have an income. I was too poorly to figure out that there was a thing called PIP or disability allowance. I didn't have a clue. And I suddenly went from working full-time to no income. And for me, pay what you can afford is because when I first went out for a cup of tea, I felt worthless and less than, because I didn't have my own money anymore.
No.
And I thought, so therefore, I'm asking people to have hope for a better tomorrow, and I'm charging them for a cup of tea and a piece of cake, not on your chance. So I started pay what you can afford.
Yeah.
It's across our whole charity. So it's for, even if you wanted to use this podcast suite, it's pay what you can afford.
Okay.
If you wanted to come in and rent the space, it's pay what you can afford. Everything. But it will never be misused, because your heart has to connect with ours. That's our only thing. It's because this is about community. It's about pushing somebody that's unseen to be seen.
Yeah.
Somebody that's not heard. You can have a voice. And so Spark, we're very passionate about the person coming through the door, that they're seen.
But that's a big thing in itself, isn't it? Just coming through the door.
It's huge.
It's tough.
And that's why we have the little shop.
Yeah.
Because some people will pretend that they're coming to buy a bargain. That's why we have stuff outside. We'll have shoes for sale, or we'll have books, because they're like £2 for £1. Everything we do here is cheap, because we want people to come in.
Yeah.
That's our
And
handshake.
then once they've made that first step, they meet
They're
you
in.
lovely, smiley people, and
Yes.
that's it.
And you can have a game
you
of
can't
Scrabble.
leave now.
Wow, you know. But then we ask businesses to support us. So we're looking for more ambassadors. We're looking for people that want to connect with the charity, because we have 20 grand a year we have to find in rent only.
Wow.
We have serious bills to pay.
It's a nice
It's
premises.
beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I remember when I signed the lease, the solicitor, who is amazing at Bisco's down the road, she said to me, I don't think you have enough funds really to sign the lease. And I went, I know, but it's my home.
Okay.
And their money will come.
Yeah.
So I signed the lease, and every now and then she'll look at me and she went, good choice, Becki. And now Bisco's one of our ambassadors.
Wow.
So we have lots and lots of ambassadors, and we need probably another 20 more ambassadors to make us more comfortable, if I'm honest, because it does get a little bit like, oh my gosh. But I will always look at the person and never a process. And I think that as you start your journey, Harry, we're going to help you in any way we can. That's what Spark is about.
Thank you.
We want to see you sparkle brighter. And to do that, we will, whatever you need help for, we are there to help you.
That's very kind of you. I wasn't even expecting that. Even sitting here now, even hearing about you guys, I don't know if that's an imposter syndrome kind of vibe that I'm getting, but I feel like, why me? I do feel that often. And that's kind of where the root cause of addiction comes from, is low self-worth, low self-esteem, not feeling worthy. And that kind of aligns with the loneliness and being stuck indoors, because you don't feel good enough. You don't feel good about yourself, basically. So, yeah, I do sometimes still get that. And sometimes I've got to, have a reality check and go, actually, no, I am worth it.
You are.
Spark want to help because I'm a decent dude. I'm doing good stuff, and I am a nice guy. I'm not, I've got morals. I'm not a bad person. I just got caught up in some bad stuff. And
so we're here, and it's on air.
Thanks.
So no, 'cause, and I started off just me, with a great husband and a great family behind me. Now I have 40 volunteers that come in daily to serve the community that we love. We have 35 businesses that support us in voluntary hours and in support. And we have 5 part-time paid team members. So that we are now really supported well and nurtured really well so why would I not pass that on?
Yeah, that gives you the opportunity to help.
It does.
Other people.
And we have team members that will be here to help you, Harry. And that's a promise that I don't ever give just to anybody. And people that know me know when I say something, I mean it. Look at my eyes.
So now I'm thinking, why me again? Why?
No, because you're worth it.
How do you know that?
Because
You've only
I
just
do.
met me 24 minutes
But it's
ago.
not about that, is it? It's about your willingness to have
Okay.
a brighter tomorrow.
Which I do definitely have.
Exactly.
Willingness, open-mindedness.
So if it was about you, I would be going, right, so Harry, what's your name? What's your address? I want to know all about you before I'm in. And I think, no, life shouldn't be like that.
No.
It should be you're in anyway.
Okay.
And it's up to you to take yourself out.
Yeah, that's fair. So
And
you're
that's
giving
what's-
people a chance almost.
Exactly.
And
Spark
if
is
they
about that. And
want
if
to
they
throw it away, that's down to them.
Yeah, because our hearts are always to push you brighter, to make you sparkle brighter.
Yeah.
That's the whole ethos of Spark.
I like that. Rate that. That's good.
It's to be kind anyway. And quite often, people may let us down. People will not do what they say they do, but that's on them.
It is. You're right.
I've had a lot of therapy, can you tell?
I can. We we cannot control people, places, or things. I love that one.
Yeah. But we can control our story, we can control our narrative, and we can live our lives. What somebody else does to us, that's their choice.
It is.
And
That's a them problem, not a me
Yes.
problem. Yeah.
So Spark is always about, I'm going to push you forward. I'm going to help you.
Yeah.
And then it's your choice to walk away.
It's similar to what the sort of fellowships do. I mean, the fellowships are there to support the still suffering addict, I guess, and help people stay clean one day at a time. And what they do is, what I found they did for me, was they loved me until I was able to love myself again. And I just kept coming back. I kept coming back to these meetings, kept meeting up with people for coffee, kept doing all these things, staying plugged in.
Yep.
And as much as I kept coming back after a relapse, I still showed up. I still kept coming back because I wanted what they had. And speaking of therapy, I got therapy this afternoon, actually.
See? Therapy's good.
It's good. I'm
If you
about
find the right one.
6 or 7 sessions in.
Yeah.
Courtesy of another charity, if I may.
Yeah.
United Minds.
I love United Minds, George Hill.
George Hill.
Shall I tell you a
Georgie
story
boy.
about George Hill?
Go on.
This is going back some time.
Yeah.
I used to be I run a youth club on Weecott Farm. My
Okay.
husband and I started it many years ago. George was in my youth club.
Was he?
He was.
As a little Georgie
He
Hill.
was a little Georgie.
I love that.
So I love that boy.
He's good stuff. I actually met him years ago. I don't think we got on too well when we were younger, but we were just like teenage lads, and he had a different friend group to me, and we sort of had mutual connections, but I didn't really know him too well. But I've got to know him quite well over the last few months. They invited me to talk night that they do
Yes, they
on a
sometimes
Wednesday.
do them here.
Do they?
Yeah.
What, the talk night?
Yeah,
That's cool.
they
So
have
the
done.
last time I went was down in Purbrook in a little coffee shop there.
Kat Thorne did one for them.
Did she? Bianca also did one for
Yeah.
them.
See?
I know all this stuff. I know all
Yeah.
this stuff. I'm surprised we haven't come across each other
I
yet.
know.
Yeah,
I know.
I know. But yeah, George is very, very generous, and he offered on that particular night. You know, I said I got a lot of stuff going on, and I've got some trauma, some childhood stuff that I haven't dealt with, and I'm not in a position because of my previous lifestyle. You know, 9 or 10 years in active addiction, strip you of everything and leave you with no money. So I was financially crippled, still am. We're getting there. And he said, if you can't afford it, we can. We'll pay for your therapy. And I was like, what? And I was like, why would you do that for me? And I still kind of imposter syndrome back then, which I still sometimes get now. But I was thinking, why me? Why would you help me? He said, well, because you want to do good stuff and you're a nice guy. We can see that.
Yeah.
You know, you're not taking the, whatever, Michael, taking
Yeah.
the mic. We can't swear,
We've
can
got we've got a no swear.
we? We've got a
policy.
soundboard though, so
We do.
no, that's the wrong one.
That is the wrong one. But hey, it's
It
annoying.
is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he reached out and said, listen, we'll pay for your therapy. And I was like, all right, cool. So he said, you can find one yourself, or we'll use the one that we use, a lady called Marion.
Oh, I know.
What?
Yeah.
How
See?
have we
Oh,
never met? Like,
I know.
that's crazy, because I live in Waterlooville. I grew up in Waterlooville, so I'm a local boy.
See, I was born in Widley.
Okay. You literally live up the road.
I
Like,
know.
and
Now
we've
I
never
live
come
in
across each
Portsmouth.
other, no.
No.
But then, to be fair, it would have been only when I was younger, because I've been so, like, we've been in different worlds for
So
the
I
last...
ran the Weecott youth clubs.
Yeah.
There's always a bit of aggro going on there.
Yeah, I
Ask
bet.
George Hill. But of course,
Was that the boxing? That wasn't the boxing club.
Yeah, there was a boxing
there was,
club as
okay.
well,
I think I
yeah.
went to that a couple of times.
Yeah.
That's
See,
one
it's
of
a
my
small
passions.
world, isn't it?
It is a very small world. Yeah,
So
definitely.
today we're talking to Ice Bath Harry.
You
so
are.
follow him on Instagram.
Thank you.
Also United Minds.
Yeah,
because,
United Minds.
They are really cool.
Brilliant he is. And just to finish on that, I've now had 6 or 7 sessions with Marion. She's really good. She's great at getting me to, I mean, I'm a million miles I'm a million miles an hour anyway, as you can tell.
That's why we'll get on well.
And once I get in there, like some people, I can understand they don't want to talk or they're not ready to open up. I, on the other hand, love to overshare. When I first meet someone, I'm like, hi, I'm Harry, I'm a drug addict. Rah! You know, I'm clean now. Woo! Like, let's do something cool. And when I met Marion, she was really, really humble, really good. She calmed me down a bit, but I'm learning new things every day, and she helps me look into things differently and understand the feelings and the thoughts behind stuff, and she's very, very good at what she does, and that is paid for. I'm very fortunate. United Minds pay for that.
So get if anyone's got any extra money to donate,
or if anyone is local, if anyone's struggling, reach out to United Minds, because they're good stuff. I didn't think I'd ever get funding, if you like, if that's what you want to call it, but literally, and I am doing a fundraiser. I'm raffling off one of my old tubs, which is signed. My original tub is signed by the first 12 guests of the 5 Degree Creator Challenge. We're raffling off that at the moment, and the money that I raise through that will cover the costs of delivery and whatever, and then whatever's left, I'm going to be splitting with. If I can get we'll probably only raise a couple of £100, but if I can give back,
dream big.
Yeah, I mean, if I can give back a couple of sessions worth, at least I'm not just taking the mickey, am I?
Yeah.
So,
but also, I think that the more charities and groups work together,
you're right. Yeah.
Then we've got a new Facebook group called Pompey Better Together.
Okay.
So follow that on Facebook. It's just a little Facebook group, but it's really there for people to be able to promote what they're doing in the city, around the area. Pompey Better Together, and that's how charities should be. If you work together, we get a better sound in the city anyway.
Absolutely.
So I am so chuffed to have had you. So follow Spark Community Space on Instagram, follow Ice Bath Harry on Instagram, and make sure United Minds and Kat Thorne, the game changer,
and Bianca Brathwaite.
Oh, of course, she's in Australia at the
moment. She is,
but she can still get a shout out.
Mindset maintenance.
Yes, because something's really cool happening soon with that. So follow their socials, because it's really cool. And Spark's getting involved. So
can I just get you, before we go, to say my catchphrase?
Yes, your catchphrase.
Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? You don't. We do merch.
What's my catchphrase? It's on the back.
Spark Community.
No, my catchphrase.
Oh, your catchphrase. Well, I don't know. I just met you. Could it be something like "wife it in when you're born to stand out" or something like that?
It could be, Harry. I wonder how you knew.
It's on the wall.
I know. Yours says.
So mine is.
Let's get it.
Let's get it.
I love that. Let's get it.
That's a play on words. When I first started saying it in my early videos, someone in the following, Erica, it was, she said, when you say "let's get it" in the captions, it would say "let's get it." She said, why don't you change it and play on the words, and changed "get it" to GEDDIT. So I was like, okay. So now we've got hoodies, t-shirts, hats. Let's get it. So every morning I start the ice bath. Hi, I'm Harry, and today is blah blah blah.
Let's get it.
Let's get it.
Let's get it on. Yeah, so you should get United Minds, George Hill, and me. We'll do the ice bath together. We could not literally together.
Oi.
George will go, I'm not with Grandma today. And so just see, and or get them to do it the same sort of time, because that'd be really cool to give a real good shout out to. We could do
individual. I think individual episodes would be good, because I like to keep them under 10 minutes.
Yeah,
because otherwise,
like ours is waffling on now. So we're going to say goodbye, Harry. What's your last nugget for the community? They're drinking their tea. Remember, it's probably gone cold.
Ooh, stay chilly. Stay chilly.
And follow you on socials.
Follow me
for positive
Ice
affirmations.
Bath Harry. Yes, absolutely. Follow me for some motivation, some inspiration, some humorous banter, some crazy stories, some motivation, and then
through you, Harry, they meet people like United Minds.
Absolutely.
Spark Community Space.
And but by me doing what I do, I've met, you
connect all round
I knew nothing about any of these.
And I'm going to connect you to another fabulous guy called Habir from the news. He works there.
Okay.
And he's doing a little thing around the city called Island City. And he's got his little telephone.
Okay.
And he goes, and you have to answer the telephone.
Yeah, link me up.
I think you need to link up with him. So
cool.
That's a shout out to
Any
Habir.
publicity is good publicity, right?
Exactly. So anyway, from us, goodbye.
Thank you. Stay chilly. Bye.
Stay chilly.